Story 1. Me 27F 3 months pregnant with my husband 31M of 8 years, he cheated on a business trip. Throwaway because I'm humiliated. I often read this sub but never thought I would be posting here. My husband and I have been together 8 years, but only married mid last year. Everything was going great. He recently landed this amazing new job with a bigger salary and it requires regular overseas travel. We also started trying for a baby when we got married and I am now 12 weeks pregnant. He went for his first overseas work trip 3 weeks ago and just got home earlier this week. While he was away, nothing seemed suspicious. We FaceTimed every day and texted regularly. He was buying things for our baby over there and all was swell. I picked him up from the airport and we were chatting on the drive home and he mentions having breakfast on his last day with a friend he made and said she had him trying all these local foods. Something twigged. He had never mentioned this new female friend in any of our conversations while he was away, and the colleague he traveled with is male. What was he doing meeting a woman for breakfast? But I put it down to me being paranoid and ignored it. Today, I was at work and it just kept niggling at me. So, I did the wrong thing and logged into his email account and lo and behold, he had emailed at least a dozen explicit photos of this woman, selfies taken in her home, by the looks of it, to a secret email address he had created. So I hacked my way into that email too, and they have been emailing back and forth for a week, as recently as half an hour before I discovered the emails. I wish I took screenshots but at this point I had just lost my mind. I told work I was sick and had to go, and drove home to confront him. He denied it at first but broke down when presented with the evidence. He cried and apologized repeatedly. He said he met her one Saturday night when he was really drunk, they flirted heavily and kissed. He swears up and down that they didn't have sex, and their emails seem to confirm this. I am sure they planned to see each other again though, as she mentions looking forward to March which is when his next trip is penciled in for. So, now what? He appears genuinely remorseful. He has an admitted problem with alcohol and has made an appointment with a therapist to start dealing with it. I am considering giving counseling a go before walking away. I would find this whole thing easier to try and forgive if it had ended that drunken night, but to carry on emailing each other for a week afterwards. This is his first trip for just 3 weeks and he has already cheated on me. But what do? I didn't plan on being a 27-year-old divorcee single mother. But I also don't want to live a life with someone I don't trust. I feel like my whole life is a ducking joke. Is there any recovering from this? At this point, I don't know what to do. I haven't told any family or friends because I feel so embarrassed that he has done this to me. While he was away I was singing his praises and sharing our baby news with people and looking forward to our future. And now he has just shit all over it. I have control of the email address they were using. Due to the large time difference she wouldn't have seen the email he sent, at my insistence, to cease contact. I am tempted to email her and get her side, assuming she would reply. Should I? She is married too, and knows about me. I hate them both right now. Sorry this is a jumbled mess of a post. I feel a complete mess. Edit. Thank you all so much. I really didn't expect this to get so many replies. I have read them all and am thinking about everything you have said. I need to try and sleep now because it's late at night here and I have to work in the morning, but will be back soon to read any new replies. You have given me a lot to think about. This is definitely the most difficult day of my life so far. Story 2. My husband cheated on me and doesn't seem to understand that I'm leaving him. I was living in another town with a friend for work. My husband was supposed to be looking for a job here to move here so we could both live with said friend. When we got married he was going to join the military and then backed out. Logically speaking I assumed if we thought we could handle the distance of military then we could handle a temporary distance of a couple hours drive now 2 years into the marriage. Boy was I wrong. He barely ever visited, a lot of times he would tell me he might visit and then just not do it. One of those times was Halloween, where instead he went to a party and cheated on me. There's varying stories as to whether it was just a hands make-out session or more than that. I'm willing to believe him that it was just the make-out session, however, that doesn't change anything for me. He hid this from me for a month while continuing to message the girl and told 6 of our friends including my own brother before uttering a word to me about this. He also did not visit me in the entire time he was sitting on this secret. He gets every weekend off work at his current job and every other week it's a 3-day weekend. I work 2 jobs in the new city that we were trying to move to help with the go cancel of moving so I rarely get a day off. When the air mattress I had been sleeping on at the new place popped, he dragged his feet and hummed and hawed about buying me a new place to sleep so I wouldn't be sleeping on the couch while working 2 jobs. It took him a while, but he did eventually buy me a mattress after I literally had to beg him. He controlled all of our finances at that point. Then Thanksgiving happened and he did finally visit me. I made him a whole dinner of his favorite foods and made everything as nice as possible for him because I felt bad because he had expressed feeling lonely back at home. Then halfway through dinner one of my friends messaged me telling me he had something to tell me and if he didn't then she would. He downplayed it, said, "I kissed a girl at a Halloween party." Then I go to found out he had literally sent me pictures of this girl because he thought I would like her costume, which I did at the time but not anymore. Then I start hearing the stories from friends who've been waiting to talk to me about it. Everything ranging from second base to full says. Now his story changes to "Okay, we made out in my car." I asked to see the messages between them because he told me, "We talk a little bit, she mostly talks about her kid." What a funny joke. The messages were him trying to meet up with her again and her being uncomfortable with it because she didn't know he was married and he didn't tell her. She found out from his Instagram. I kicked him out. I had my Friday new get what stuff I had left in his house at our hometown out. I try to not speak to him unless it's about logistics. He keeps sending me selfies with our friends or with our cats that I haven't been able to successfully get from him. He keeps asking how I'm doing and asking my roommate how I'm doing despite both of us telling him to stop. He keeps trying to talk about it, saying that he thinks it got out of hand and that the apology was going fine until my friend said it was actually says, which it wasn't. He doesn't seem to comprehend that to me it doesn't matter what it was, what matters is how he handled it. By lying to me and betraying my trust. Honestly, duck him. I deserve better. I'd be happiest if I never had to speak to him again. I already want to move on. I already think I may be interested in someone, but no, I don't feel guilty. So what if I move on quick? It took him negative time to move on because we were still together. Edit for clarification, since I didn't explain it, I was out of work due to an injury for many months, which led to him being in control of the finances since I had nothing. We didn't have our accounts combined except for one joint stock account, but I had to ask him for money for everything from my car payment to therapy/doctor's visits, the latter of which he would deny due to us not being able to afford it. But realistically I know now he didn't care because he also bought a drone during that time with the argument of it's for work because he wanted to change careers. He changed careers in a way that caused us to lose our health insurance, but not in a way that allowed him to use said drone. Once I was better and able to work again, better is a loose term because I was and still am having untreated seizures, but my insurance through my new jobs will kick in February. Thankfully, I applied for jobs up here and got 2 of them and started working them. The mattress popped before I received enough pay from either job to replace it. Now that I've gotten a solid month of income under my belt, I am financially in charge of myself now. That money I was trying to earn for us is now for me. Also adding to the situation, I have found out from the girl that he's still trying to get in contact with her, all the while telling me that things got out of hand. His messages to said girl are honestly creepy. He's so incessant with trying to meet up with her again as just friends despite her continuously saying she doesn't want to be in this position. I have also found out that he went into Snapchat and downloaded all of the nudes I sent him during this long distance portion of our relationship, and I'm not entirely sure what he plans to do with them, but I have 1000 regrets right now and will never be sending anything like that to anyone again, no matter how much distance or how much I think I can trust them. I am going to talk to my grandparents and see if they are willing to get my cat for me and watch her till I'm able to get her up here, because I definitely have no trust anymore. Thanks everyone for the support you've given me so far. Story 3. My husband, 29M, said I, 29F, am selfish to request for divorce while being 7 months pregnant. He cheated on me and I'm lost. My husband, 29M, cheated on me, 29F, twice in the span of 1+ month. I'm considering divorce. He said that we'll be very selfish and inconsiderate of our child. I'm 7 months pregnant, because our baby will need both parents to grow up. I said it's bullshit. If I'm living in a toxic environment, if I'm stressed, depressed, and not happy, I will not be able to nurture the baby lovingly, and I cannot take care of the baby. Heck, I can't even produce milk. But he said, he will do everything for the child, he will stop arguing with me, and make sure the baby only experience positive and good environment growing up. He is saying I'm selfish for taking care of myself first, and not my baby's needs to have both parents. That's our difference. I would do anything for the baby. But you won't. You prioritize yourself first, and that's selfish. Background: the first time he got caught, I found out they've been physical, touching each other, groping, small kisses, for 3 weeks, maybe 4 or 5 times. We fought, he defended himself. Acknowledged that he cheated but saying it's because he is in denial. I used to be open and can accept him doing sexual acts with someone else, it's actually his kink, not mine. We fantasized this while having sex together. Not just him, but me doing with someone else too. I actually did some physical interactions with a colleague with his permission, told him everything and he found it hot. Too hot that he encouraged me doing again, but I never continued. He's in denial cause I used to be okay with it, why not now? Well, we had this conversation like 2 months before. Since getting pregnant, I kinda became insecure with myself, vulnerable, needed his attention/care and told him to stop his advances to his affair partner, 28F, until I'm emotionally stable. At that time, they were just flirting around. He wasn't that happy, but he said okay. I felt very betrayed that he continued to do so, and even became physical. I also felt very hurt because from their messages, they both are very deeply, emotionally attached to each other. Things like, I enjoy spending time with you, you look cute in black, your hug made my day, I need your support, I make excuses to see you, asking for pictures etc. But he denied that he has romantic feelings to her, only felt really close to her as a friend. And that he hid it from me because he didn't want me to restrict him further. After the first time he got caught, I told him to cut her completely off. He had a meltdown, he said he wanted to support her in some things which he promised her. He looked so sad and depressed, and I hate seeing him like that because I still love him. So I agreed to let him continue being friends but requested him to stop being flirty, and of course no physical. And to completely cut her off after he fulfilled the promise. 1 week after that, I caught him doing the physical act again. So this time, I gave him the ultimatum to cut her off within a week, or we're getting divorced. I was very angry, hurt, confused, regretful, suicidal and a lot of other emotions. I hated that he tried to play victim, saying that if we divorce then he will lose everything in this world. That he just wanted to maintain things as the way they are. He convinced me to give him some time to cut off, but not a week. A week is too short and he doesn't know what to do. I refused to compromise again, as there will be no difference than what happened before. He said he respects my decision to get divorced after a week, and asked me to respect him to take his life. It's his stupid way of taking responsibility. I tried to rationalize, he wouldn't listen, I get angry, I throw things, he cried, I cried and I eventually caved into his wish again. He would let me read his WhatsApp communication with the girl. But I know he deleted a large portion of their conversation flirting with each other or having emotional conversation. I know. But he would never admit that. I told him, I'm worried with the uncertainty. It seems like he will drag this again and end up not cutting her, as what I want. He said, it's difficult. Because he views friend and sexual/physical interactions as separate things. He will stop doing the physical interaction, but he cannot stop being her friend. I felt that she is so important to him that my husband would risk our marriage for her. Why is he doing this to his wife? If I am his world, stop hurting me. We view commitment differently. For me, when we decided to have a baby after 2 years of marriage, I want us to focus more on each other, spend more time together, less outside, or in general becoming a family person. But for him, his commitment is that he won't replace me ever. I will always be his #1 priority, the only person he loves. We couldn't agree with each other and I feel hopeless. Is this my fate? Edit, just to clear up in case people think he had sex, no he didn't. Just touching, groping, and kisses in the car. But still cheating regardless.